This edition of MacVoices is sponsored by Smile, the makers of PDF Pen, PDF Pen Pro, PDF Pen for iPhone, PDF Pen for iPad, PDF Pen Scan Plus for iPhone and iPad, Text Expander Touch, and Disk Label. Find out more about all their great products at smilesoftware.com. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the Talk of the Mac community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, by now you know we've spent a lot of time on the road to Macworld, but Macworld isn't the only thing coming up in the next month or so that at least gets me excited, and I know gets a lot of our audience excited. The National Association of Broadcasters show is in Las Vegas the week after Macworld ends. That means I'll be there too, and these two gentlemen will be there. Mike Horton and Dan Berube, the organizers of the SuperMeet at NAB. Mike, Dan, it's great to see you, and thanks for being here.
It's always good to see you, and it's unfortunate that you only get to see you when we have a SuperMeet coming up.
Yeah, well, we got to do something about that. But
I know.
It seems like you have
to invite us over to your house and give us a couch to sleep on, and get to know us as real people instead of these producers of these SuperMeets.
Well, but I have you guys on a pedestal, you know, like with capes and the wind blowing and all.
Yeah, this is hair.
I do that. It's great to see you, Chuck. And as you're saying, even if you can make it out for a day, you pick the right day to do it on NAB Tuesday, the day of the SuperMeet for Vegas. So it's all good, and I can't wait to see you. It's going to be a fun day.
So, guys, you know, the SuperMeet, I mean, NAB is a great show. It's targeted for, you know, a specific audience, but the SuperMeet is for anybody that's interested in video production. And we do this every time. So I'm just going to let you riff a little bit on what is going to make this SuperMeet as special as I know it's going to be.
Well, you know, Dan and I have been going to Vegas to NAB since, well, Dan's been going longer than I have. I started, 2000, I think, and Dan was like 19,
I think it was in the 1800s.
Yeah, something like that. That's when it started.
Well, it was definitely before Apple was there. On the show floor. I was going back when Media 100, when I was using Media 100. Oh God, I think it was back when I was. I think it was the 1800s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But but it's changed so much, because at the time that Dan started going there, it was pretty much broadcast television. You know, all that big high-end stuff that you go into the television studios and newsrooms and things like that and see these giant cameras and satellite trucks and things. And it was specifically that stuff, right? Because then it evolved. It
was smaller.
To what it is today.
It was definitely smaller, but still. The one thing that was still there, and it still exists today, is the community, the people. And there's still people that are still there that were going back when I was still going back then. And they're using different tools, and that's the common theme that we always talk about when we talk about SuperMeets and we talk with you, Chuck. It's not about the tool, it's about how you use it. Just had a short interview. Now we can go back to drinking. but seriously, that's what it's all about. It's really comes down to coming together. The biggest thing that excites us and fuels our passion is coming together. We're going to see you again. That's how we started off this show. And at the SuperMeet, a lot of people are going to come together again. They're going to have a great time, and we're going to have some wild and crazy announcements, some great people on stage, a lot of things to give away, and one fabulous night at walking distance to the Las Vegas Convention Center at the Riviera. What better time can you have on a Tuesday night in Vegas?
Yeah, this is going to be our first time at the Riviera Hotel. We've actually done SuperMeet at just about every hotel on the Strip. If I think about it, it's a lot. We've done one at the MGM, Paris. We've never done one at the Venetian, have we?
Actually, no, we did.
We did?
Done them before, yeah, at the Venetian. Yes, I remember that. Wasn't that when? Didn't we have? That's when we had Walter Murch.
No, that was MGM, I think.
No, we had Walter Murch. We had double screens, and he was talking about stirring the pot.
That's right. Editing is like stirring a pot of spaghetti. And add a little here and add a little and taste it.
The point you make, I think, is a great one, and it's something that in some ways I wish New Media Expo would move closer to NAB, because I feel like it's a little more related to NAB than to CES. When you guys convinced me to come for the first time, I thought, okay, well, I'll be in Vegas. How bad can that be? If there's nothing there for me, and I never left the hotel. I mean, I was amazed at everything that was there that was not broadcast, because you think, all the major networks, all that stuff, and it's all trickled down now to anybody that wants to do anything like this or anything that is new media related. And sure, the broadcast stuff is there if you want it, but it has a much broader appeal, I think, than a lot of people realize.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not CES, that's for sure. But it doesn't go to the so much to the level of the consumer. But those who are interested in telling their stories with video and with digital cameras and with the tools that exist today, it is the show to go to, because it has that stuff that you want to look at and learn about, and then talk face to face with the makers who actually make this stuff. I mean, there is a lot you can learn on the web, but there's nothing like learning face to face, as you know. It's just I know you actually put a microphone in front of people, and I'm sure you learned an enormous amount simply by having that microphone there, and gives you a little bit more importance. Yeah. and they know that they're going to be seen worldwide, and but you can learn that way. But you don't have to have that microphone. You just have the will to ask questions.
If there is a circus in this industry, NAB is the biggest show on earth.
Yeah, exactly.
and it's big. And for
so like Dan said, it's also a chance to meet and greet all these people that you might have met on the internet, and or you want to get to know on the internet, because most of these people are going to be there. They're not going to be there necessarily to see the new toys. They're going to be there to see each other. And it is this gathering, this community that comes together, which is what the SuperMeet is all about. We'll take them from the convention floor and we'll put them in another room at our hotel. And it's like Dan and I always say, it's not what's up on stage. It's what you do when you get there to that event and have the courage to go up to somebody and shake their hand and say hello, solve each other's problems, all that kind of stuff. So it's that's what these events are all about. Today,
and let's hope that there is some semblance of net neutrality and whatever. But today you can get the information the next day, or the same day in most instances. So the information is there, but the people, you still got to meet face to face. And
speaking of net neutrality, the head of the FCC is going to be there, right. Not at the SuperMeet. Although we should invite him. We should invite that guy.
We'll give him comp tickets.
Yeah, we'll give him comp tickets. See if he'll hang out with Chuck.
Maybe we can have him pull the tickets at the end.
We'll ask him about the FCC. I mean, the net neutrality. We'll ask him about Netflix and Comcast, and see if they're going to pass that to allow Comcast to buy Time Warner.
I'd love to interview him, and I won't ask him any tough questions at all. I'm not sure there are any.
Just
easy
talk to him
questions.
about your slow internet speed in your little town in Pennsylvania.
Mike, though, you said something. It's too bad that you have to use the word courage, because this is such a welcoming community. It's such an open community. I've never had anybody be anything but cordial. If I ask for an interview, or if I just ask for help and say, hey, I see you have this product or you have this knowledge. Can you help me with this? And at my level, you would think, get away from me, kid. You bother me. They're always so accommodating and so helpful that is one of the high points, I think, of the entire experience.
I think anybody who's going up to a stranger and asking for help, it does take courage. I mean, anybody. I don't care who you are. It's an awkward situation to introduce yourself.
I learned it at Emerson. It's called chutzpah.
Yeah. I mean, there's some people who have that sort of thing, but it's an awkward situation to go up to somebody and say, or even your hero that you admire and just want to shake your hand. It's like, what do you say to that person? I really like you, and it's good to meet you. And then you walk away and you go, God, why did I say that?
Yeah, but you know, I think anybody at that level, you know, somebody comes up and says, "Hey, I appreciate your work." I don't know what higher compliment you could give someone.
Yeah, well, it's if you can leave it at that, if you can add the second sentence after that, I appreciate your work, and then start a conversation. You know, it's hard. It's difficult. It takes practice, and it takes some courage. And but eventually, if you can find that thing, you can meet that person, as we always say, who may change your life.
And generally speaking, people do like to hear compliments or be complimented.
Oh, yeah.
Or, you know, I mean, even if you think that they might have heard it all before, just a simple generalized, "I like what you do," or "I like you," is something that can make someone's day.
Yeah, you're right. It's Dan. It's really important to say that if somebody's helped you via the internet or something, you're meeting that person for the first time, tell them.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Yeah, say thank you. Yeah.
Well, now, guys, this is, first of all, your super meets are never just cookie cutter events. They always seem to have a little bit of a different style, focus, whatever. Sometimes you have guests, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you've done exhibit halls for the super meets, sometimes you haven't. This time you're at yet another new hotel. So what's the setup of this super meet going to be like?
This one it's been because it's a new hotel. God, it took us like a month to figure out the floor plan because it's a new venue, and it's like we had like 15 different floor plans just for the sponsor tables. You know, it was all a jumble of goop. And then, of course, the person who was helping us, then she ends up leaving and then get replaced by somebody else. And it's
and you got to take the personalities out of it, or did we do something to cause her to leave, or no?
Yeah,
it's nothing to do with that. It's happened before. Trust me, it happens.
It happens all the time. It's
we get to a certain point and they leave. It's like, oh, here we go again. But it's
and then you get the new person going, well, they didn't leave all their emails, and start over.
It's classic. But this is something that happens in any event that you get into, and any production or any event-based event that it's at least the experience that I've been in this industry. So
it's a live event. I mean,
right.
you know what, Chuck, you know what it entails to put on a live event, and you do all the preparation, do every single thing you can possibly do, right. dot your I's, cross your T's, have everything covered, and of course when you would get to the live event, it could all crash and burn.
Oh yeah. So it's like we're establishing the relationship with the hotel. They give us a venue, they give us a layout, and we see a footprint, and we start massaging that footprint. Like, we know how intimate we want it to be, and okay, maybe we move it here and we move it there, and we want to flow a certain way, and we want to do this. And finally, we get to a point, and then this is it. And then so things start evolving, and then suddenly
there.
Right, the proposals go out, the sponsors start coming in, and we start seeing all those tables that we worked so hard to place, they're filling up. This is great. This is the super meets taking place, and we start getting a theme because we start seeing the types of sponsors that are responding, and it gets exciting every time. And then we're working with the AV and the special needs that we might have for the people on stage, and then the people on stage who approach us. This is exciting because some of the people that we usually have aren't actually with us. We have new people. I mean, we have some pretty exciting things happening here. We have new people on stage.
Yeah, we have some new sponsors on stage, which is going to be
Mike. You can talk about the Starts with H, ends with P. Who is it?
That's right. It starts with an H, ends with P. This is going to be very new for the SuperMeet, because you've been to SuperMeets before, Chuck, and you know it's a pretty Mac-centric crowd. I mean, 95, 99% of the users out there use Macs. But we talked to HP, and they're coming on board as a sponsor. They're going to do a presentation, not to make people switch to a PC, but this will be the first time at a SuperMeet that we're going to take a look at an HP workstation rather than anything Mac related, and talking to them and getting their feelings. That I think this is going to be something really good and something interesting. There are a lot of Apple fanboys out there, but it's not going to be about switching or one is better than the other or all that nonsense. It's just about taking a look at something that might help you, and to adding to your tool set and
your creative workflow. I mean,
right. I mean, Dan and I are not necessarily about what you want to see, but we are about kind of what you need to see. And this is one of those things I think you need to see. So we're kind of excited about this to see if it'll work or not. And you know, it's a friendly audience anyway. They're not gonna throw things at the people who use PCs.
No. And you guys have never made any bones about it. You know, you've always been about the tools. You've been about the best tool for the job. It's never. Right. I mean, yes, you started out as Final Cut groups when it dominated. Then it trailed off, and now it seems to be coming back. And that's a whole other discussion that we can have. But yeah, you got to look at everything that's out there to get the job done. And if HP can deliver something, then hey, great.
That's been our MO primarily forever. I mean, obviously we were Final Cut Pro heavy for a number of years, but not necessarily because most of the people use Final Cut Pro, and when new things would come out, it was our obligation to show them what that new stuff was. However, if you look back on SuperMeets, we still had Avid, we still had Adobe, we still had those NLEs on stage going back several years. So it's even though it's been Final Cut Pro centric, if something was important that people needed to see, then we did our best to put that up on stage for the people to see.
So HP is going to be there as one of the stage attractions.
And now we're move up a letter from H to G. Okay. Starts with a G, ends with an O. GoPro we just brought on stage, and they're going to be with us as a platinum sponsor.
We are making the official announcement right here on MacVoices. This is the world premiere announcement.
New world premiere announcement on Chuck Joyner's MacVoices. Wow. GoPro is officially with us at the SuperMeets, at the Las Vegas SuperMeet. Platinum sponsor, Adobe, Blackmagic Design, HP, and GoPro. I'm going to say it again. GoPro is with us, and this is big. This is big. Why is it big? Because GoPro is huge. They are in everyone's lives. They are what they are doing today to really get video everywhere. And the stories that are being told with GoPro devices is amazing.
Yeah, we don't know any filmmakers that don't have GoPro in their arsenal. We really don't. I mean, it's used alongside Arri Alexas and Reds and the Blackmagic 4K cameras, and is so many uses. And so it's going to be really interesting. We're talk about their presentation later. We don't know exactly what they're going to present, but we're just really happy to have them because we know everybody's either has a GoPro or wants a GoPro or wants to learn how to use a GoPro, especially in workflow and how to get it into their editing system and all that other stuff. And we did make the deal, like I told you, that everyone named Chuck will get a free GoPro.
Yeah, and last name is Joyner, by the way.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm wrong. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. First of all, that's obviously exciting news, but it's funny. I think I'm like a lot of people that had a bit of a bias with the GoPro, that they thought, okay, it's only for the extreme sports people and the people that are going to strap it on their heads and then go do something crazy. And I recently got a GoPro, and I've had a blast with it. First of all, the quality is amazing, but the versatility is amazing. Of course, the size, it can go places and do things that no other camera can do. It's so rugged. And I didn't know until right now that you guys were going to say this. So I think this is really exciting news.
So we're very excited too, because it's especially about what they're going to see, because we have this giant 30-foot screen. And so it's going to be really fun to see GoPro footage on a giant 32-foot screen. And so I've never seen GoPro footage on a giant 32-foot screen. So it's
everyone in our community knows about GoPro, uses GoPro, wants to learn how to use it, wants to know how to use GoPro better in their workflow. It's the right fit. They are going to have a success story here. It's big. I mean, and the stories that are being told. I've been going to the GoPro website. I've subscribed to it. There's some amazing stuff being done.
Yeah.
And, you know, I even back when I was working, shooting, working for the Visionaries, a public television series. We were going, you know, around the world traveling. We always had a GoPro with us because it was necessary to be able to have that to go into different places, or mounting it on the top of a sail on a ship out at sea to get those point of view shots and whatnot. I mean, it's just it's exciting to be able to have you know, to also. We're not just all about editing. We're about the total filmmaking, storytelling process, SuperMeet. So
it is all about production and post-production. And I mean, that's the way SuperMeets have been for forever. We're not sure what Blackmagic is going to show yet. We're not sure what Adobe is going to show, but and we're not sure exactly what iZotope is going to show. So there's going to be a real diverse amount. You know, it's like I said, if you're bored, if you're not interested in one little subject, 15 minutes later, another one pops up.
And I just proved that I'm dyslexic and that editors are dyslexic, because I said we go from H to the next letter up, which is
down.
No, wait. We go from G to H, and now we got an I, because yes, iZotope is with us as well. And the iZotope was with us at the Amsterdam SuperMeet.
Yeah, they had a kick-ass presentation. Excuse me, I'm actually looking at of their plug-in, the what is it, the R3 or something?
RX3.
Yeah, the RX3, which is an amazing little plug-in
complete audio repair.
That takes out all that ambient noise and noise, but does it so well. I mean, there's a lot of those plugins like that, but this one is just pure genius.
They have a standard version, an advanced version, and it works for different software entities that you work with. Right now, I actually am working on a feature film. Independent film that the sound designer is using it with Pro Tools, and so I'm excited that actually getting to see actually a plugin from a company that we're having at a SuperMeet. I'm seeing it actually being used, real world example in my life, so that's exciting. So iZotope, HP, Blackmagic, Adobe, GoPro. And we have another announcement that we can't make tonight, but we will soon make another announcement about someone else being on stage. So this is really shaping up to be really a good SuperMeet with everything that talks about different facets of production, post-production, workflow. It's great that HP, there's Apple as well, Adobe. I think that everything ties in very well. And plus, you know, we've got some great both vendors and sponsors that have been with us in the vendor showcase that have been with us for a while, and some new people too. We got a
ton of new sponsors, and none of good. And of course, we have the world famous raffle, which is,
oh my god, yeah,
which is it's insane right now.
We're supposed to leave that till the end to really.
We are? Oh, okay. We don't have the world famous raffle.
Oh my god!
There's nothing in the raffle. Edit that out, Chuck.
This edition of MacVoices is sponsored by Smile. the makers of PDF Pen, PDF Pen Pro, PDF Pen for iPhone, PDF Pen for iPad, PDF Pen Scan Plus for iPhone and iPad, Text Expander Touch, and Disk Label. Find out more about all their great products at smilesoftware.com. You're just waiting, aren't you? You're just waiting for me to tell you about another great place to learn more about the power of Text Expander. Well, I live to serve. First, though, I want to be sure you know about Text Expander Touch for iPhone and iPad, which extends the usefulness of the power of Text Expander to your iDevices. Sync all of your favorite snippets using Dropbox, and you will have access to them in 45 and counting of your favorite Text Expander enhanced apps, such as Byword, Drafts, Fantastical, Launch Center, and of course, PDF Pen for iPhone and PDF Pen for iPad, and PDF Pen Scan Plus. Or sync your snippets among all your Macs in the same way. That way, you never have to do anything anywhere without the power of Text Expander. So where to learn all about Text Expander? Michael E. Cohen has written Take Control of Text Expander just for you. It's a great way to get up and running if you're new to Text Expander. And if you think you know all about Text Expander, think again. I promise Michael will show you some tips and tricks you weren't aware of. Finally, you need, yes, need, to check out David Sparks' set of Text Expander snippets on MacSparky.com. David has quite a collection, from Markdown to OmniFocus to conference calls. I guarantee you that you'll find something there you can use. David is passionate about Text Expander and equally passionate about sharing his knowledge. You can even see a video he did about Text Expander on the Smile website, along with videos by Screencasts Online's Don McAllister. I want you to go to Smile Software right now and try Text Expander free for 30 days. Then, when, not if, you find you can't live without it, buy it directly from the Smile website or from the Mac App Store. The power of Text Expander. Yours for the taking from Smile, the makers of world-class software. Thanks to Smile for being the longest-running sponsor of MacVoices. Before we get to the raffle, because that's something we always want to talk about, but so there will be sponsor tables. The folks will be showing off their stuff, talking to whoever's there. Hopefully, I can be there and get a couple interviews with some of those folks because they were all, a lot of them were very gracious last year. There were a few that, frankly, I couldn't even get to their table. They were so packed, start to finish.
Yeah, if you really actually want to talk to these people, you have to get there at like 2. They're setting up.
Yeah.
Because it's some of those tables are really popular. But we're going to have about 30 sponsors there. So I know you can't get to all of them, but there'll be about 30 vendors there hawking their wares. Some of them will be on the show floor at NAB, but a lot of them won't. This will be the only venue that they will be at because it's a little bit more affordable to be at the SuperMeet than it is to be on the show floor at NAB. But a lot of them will be there, and so you can either get them on the show floor or you can get them at the SuperMeet. But it's really important. The SuperMeet, which is a more intimate event, it's a little bit easier to talk to these people. Where NAB is just it's 100,000 people, and if it's a really popular piece of software or hardware, it's hard to get to them.
So it's also good because the SuperMeet complements being on the show floor, because if you're on the show floor and you want to get to a vendor and they're going to be at the SuperMeet, well then
maybe you can get them at the SuperMeet, yeah,
right. And then afterwards go Wednesday and go back to them and visit them on the show floor, etc. So there's a good synergy there.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the sponsors, I think, and the vendors we're talking about, they recognize the value of the SuperMeet. They recognize the value of something that is a little more focused and a little more intimate than just, the massive show floor that is NAB. And you guys always have done a great job of that, I think. I realize that there are fire regulations and all, but you haven't tried to turn this into something that's just so huge that you can't manage it and you lose that intimate feeling.
We don't want.
There's a few years where that's happened, but
right. Well, we have no desire to do that, for one thing. We just happy to be a part of as I like to say, the biggest show on earth. It's we're one of the tent poles there, and we're all about helping to build the community at NAB Show, and we've been there. This is our 13th year of doing super meets in Las Vegas in Vegas during NAB, and it's a great partnership. It's a great place to be. It's one of our favorite. It's the biggest one that we do.
Yeah, and it is it's our flagship.
We'll be doing it for as long as there's an NAB, as long as there's always going to be a Vegas. And we'll be doing super meets. That's our legacy, and we'll keep doing them. And we enjoy it. It's our passion. We love to have the finger in the pulse of what's happening.
As long as Chuck Joyner keeps coming to NAB, we'll keep doing these super meets.
Exactly.
There you go. But I want to go back and call everybody's attention now. 13 years.
Yeah.
This is not some small event that gets slapped together in 10 minutes and, has been around for a couple of years. That's 13 years. And then go back and look at the sponsors you have and the people you just mentioned that are going to be on stage. I mean, this is a major event. In anywhere else, this could be easily a standalone kind of event. And because it's at NAB, because you draw the audience, as Dan's saying, it feels relatively small, but anywhere else it would be huge.
Yeah, well, it's been we do the standalone events, as you know, but the NAB one, the Vegas one, which is attached to NAB, which is kind of special because it is our flagship, and it attracts the biggest audience because NAB attracts a huge audience. But like Dan says, there is a synergy there, and a lot of people come to NAB for the SuperMeet, and that always makes us feel really good that we've attracted a whole new crowd that would not even think of going to NAB, but they do, and then they'll go to the SuperMeet. So it's that Chuck, makes us feel pretty good.
You struck a chord in my heart, Chuck, because when we did it in Boston the first year and the second year, people. They come up to me and Mike and they said thank you, and they personally come up to us, and it's really great that you've done that because that stuff doesn't happen on the Northeast that much. It happens, but
it's why we like to we're testing out new cities because we think it's important. Because there is people want us to come to their city, and they don't have these kinds of events. They don't have this kind of testing the waters there to see if it's viable. And a lot of it's just being able to make it happen and make it affordable for everybody, which is really important to us because we do work with a lot of indie filmmakers, and those indie filmmakers don't have a lot of money, so we have to rely on sponsorships. So we have to balance that education, that community with commerce. It's not easy, but we do our best. But we don't want to put the burden on people who don't have the money. That they have that passion to tell their stories, and we want to give them that experience to meet others who can help them. And again, that's what these events are all about.
And Mike, you've said, I think every time, you encourage people to get out of the house.
Yeah.
In this case, it's
hard. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah. It is, because we're all busy, and you all think, oh, am I really going to benefit from it that much? And then you go and you shake your head and say, I got to do more of that. And unfortunately, we forget that lesson about a day and a half later, and it takes another SuperMeet to drag us out of the house.
Yeah, we're all like that. We're all like that.
It always happens when you have free beer. But
I tell you how to attract a crowd. Open bar. It works every time, but unfortunately, we don't have that budget.
Yeah. So it's that time, folks, when we ask about the raffle.
Woohoo!
The raffle.
Right now we're at just over 72K in prizes, and we're not finished yet.
We still got 4.5 weeks left.
Yeah, and that's when people really start. They just start. The sponsors have really become really appreciative and gracious and courteous, and they really come out, and we're really thankful of that. And
oh yeah.
But of course, we have our grand prize, Black Magic. Very thankful. They are giving away another DaVinci Resolve 10 system with the panel. and includes the resolve and the control surface, and that's a $30,000 grand prize right there. So we also have Flanders Scientific is giving away their CM250 25-inch OLED monitor.
Now this is OLED. It's awesome.
That is a $6,500 value right there. Blackmagic's giving away 3 cameras, amongst other, some capture cards, etc., some other resolve. Aja is giving away an IO 4K. Thank you, Aja, AJA.
It goes on and on and on. There's just a ton of prizes, so the raffle will last 6.5 hours. But it's incredible.
It is, and this raffle is unlike anything you've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
because not only are you guys raffling, and not only are you performing to one degree or another, but you're forcing the participants to perform to get more prizes.
Absolutely, we like the word force.
Yes, I mean
it was just carefully chosen, Mike.
We're forcing them to show a little appreciation.
If you can sing, that helps.
That would actually nobody's ever done that. Maybe we ought to add that this year. If you can sing,
a hug goes a long way.
Absolutely, hugs they go a long way.
Somersaults on stage, just be careful.
Yeah, we're a little bit worried about that because we have had a few issues with people who tried to be athletic who were not athletic, and so we don't want any of that stuff anymore. It drives us crazy.
So does this mean that people should start now to try to think of outrageous things to do? Is that a good idea?
Yeah, well, you know what? In Amsterdam, which is the best crowd in the world, those people do just completely nutty things. It's like going back to the old "Let's Make a Deal" TV show. They dress up. They have T-shirts. I love SuperMeet. It's like
if you want to wear a costume, go ahead.
Absolutely, costumes will work. Somebody won a SuperMeet, and he was. A raffle prize, and he was ready for it. He had one of those New Year's Eve pop things that shot all the confetti all over the place, and he actually won. He stands up, boom, confetti goes all over the place. It was great. It was just so awesome. How could you not give extra prizes to a guy like that? So
I'm surprised that no one's thought of like a Vegas stripper yet, but I'm not trying to plant anything in people's heads, but
maybe we ought to start tweeting that stuff and get people thinking about it.
Yeah, my head was going there too, Dan, but I wasn't going to bring it up. But now that you've brought it up, it's out of the box. Yeah.
But the raffle is, and one of the reasons for it is it really is just a chance to just let your hair down, act goofy, and have some fun, and not be so bloody serious, and forget all the learning stuff. Just be an idiot for a little bit and have some fun, and because that's why we're there. We want to have some fun. We've already learned. We've had a night of learning. We have had a day of learning. Let your hair down. Have some fun.
So, okay. Again, guys, learning, exhibitors, people solving problems, meeting people, socialization, fun, raffle. You guys have just put together an event that has a little bit of everything and something for everyone. And we've also talked about this before, but I want to make sure, because Mike, I think you were the one that said it. You give the presenters a set amount of time on stage. If they haven't finished their presentation by the time that time is up, they get the hook. You bring them off because you got more people to go. So I've
can't see us off
that.
Stage, but we're going.
We rent the actual hook that Chuck Berry used to use.
Yeah. I've admired that too, because I've seen you do that for years, where you just thank you very much. Now our next presenter is, and you keep it rolling.
Well, I mean, you can. We don't give them a lot of time. And they know that, but we do give them a kind of a set of rules that says you really can change the world in 20 minutes. TED Talks are normally 18 minutes. That's it. They cut them off. And you've seen a lot of TED Talks. Those things some of them are absolutely brilliant. As long as you practice, you can change the world in 18 minutes. And a lot of these people do. Some of them don't. some of them do. It's just it's the personality on stage. It's what they're showing. Everything that goes into that to that moment in time is pretty much up to them. But yeah, I mean
some of them. I mean, it's not even about necessarily about practicing, but just engaging, saying the right things. I mean, God, I was just doing a video job today. Yesterday, and Elizabeth Warren was speaking. She had only 15 minutes to speak, and right on the button, 15 minutes, and she said everything, and it was perfect. We got to get her on the SuperMeet.
It is, because we have a very liberal audience. Everybody would love her. Yeah. Everybody would love her.
And some of the people up there, they demo, and they do great demos. Other people perform their demos in the truest sense.
The SuperMeet is unique in a way. Well, not unique. It is unique in a way when you have to blend and find that balance between performance and education. And of course, if it's a product, you're selling it. No matter even if you're not selling it, you're trying to. What is the perfect demo when it comes to a product? Show us how it can solve your problem. Don't sell us the product. Just show us how it can solve your problem. That's the perfect demo. And people who do that, it resonates really well with the audience, especially if you bring up a user, not necessarily a marketing guy or the CEO of the company or anything like that, because they're going to be selling it to you. But a user who says, I used this, here's how I used it, here's how it solved my problem, and they are an engaging personality, and they have this good performance ability, that makes a great demo. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, but all those guys, and you see them. That's what works. And a SuperMeet, has to be some performance to it. There has to be some fun to it, because the whole atmosphere is fun.
Well, and again, as you said earlier, these are storytellers that are there to get equipment, software, hardware, techniques to tell their stories. And so if somebody's telling them a story back, it obviously resonates very quickly.
Yeah, anecdotes are really big, because we can all relate to. We all have the stories to tell. Whether you can feel comfortable enough to get up on stage in front of 1,000 people and tell them that. That's a different thing, and that's hard, because we deal with a lot of creative people, and it's really hard.
Right. We've had panels before that worked wonderful.
Yeah, it's even panels would you think wouldn't work in a SuperMeet atmosphere, but they've worked. So,
and I've seen you guys have some speakers that were delivering a tough message to the audience, but
last year especially.
Yeah, but like you said, stuff they needed to hear.
Right. Last year, I look back on that, and I don't know how we got away with that. I really don't, because it was a really tough message for people to hear. It was depressing, ultimately hopeful. It was all about the visual effects industry, and we put it in the second half. Everybody's tired. They're a little loopy from drinking, but they were glued to these two people talking about the visual effects industry. And a lot of them had nothing to do with the visual effects industry, but where goes the visual effects industry? It affects all of us. We're all creative storytellers. Those people who create that wonderful magic up on the movies, that's part of what we do too. It's part of, they just add that other element, and they're having a tough time. Post-production's having a tough time. Production's having a tough time. Everything is changing, and we try to give these people the tools and the knowledge that they need to succeed in this new industry.
I tell you, it made the super badge easy to make. That's made it all green.
Solidarity. That's for sure. That was like one of my favorite super badges.
Yeah.
So let's get to the specifics here. The exact date and time. How much does it cost? All of those things.
So cheap. It's only $10.
Yeah, so through March 10th, we have early bird tickets that are $10 to get your seat to the SuperMeet. That's on Tuesday, April 8th. That is the day of the SuperMeet.
However, this probably won't air until after March 10th.
Oh no, I'm going to target March 6th, though.
Okay.
Like you said, my birthday.
So as of hearing this, you'll have until March 10th to get your midnight of March 10th to get your early bird tickets of $10 to get your place locked in and your seat reserved for the SuperMeet. The
yeah, we got to tell you that
annual SuperMeet.
The tickets are selling pretty well, and we still got 4.5 weeks to go, and the majority of them usually
we're going to sell out, as we always do.
Yeah, so I would get them real soon because it goes up to $15 after the 10th, which I know is not a lot either.
And then $20 if we have any.
And there probably won't be any at the door. So
and the best place to get them is SuperMeet.com.
And, of course, it's April 8th, Tuesday, April 8th, always a Tuesday during NAB at the Riviera Hotel, Royale Ballroom. Not the Royal Ballroom, but the Royale Ballroom.
Right. And so the doors open at 4:30 with the vendor showcase. And
that's like the most important part of the show. I mean, really, is to hang out in that vendor area with the bad hotel food and all those really good sponsors and stuff, and have a few drinks and meet all those people. So it's really important to get there early. Absolutely,
get in there early. We're walking distance from the LVCC. We're at the Riviera, folks. So walk. Don't get on the bus. Just walk,
no taxis, no cars.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. Go to the SuperMeet. Walk to the SuperMeet this year.
Dan, you're right. It is. And funny thing is, I walked from the LVH, from the convention center over to the Riviera this year, and it's a
10-minute walk.
Yeah, 10, 12-minute walk. It's easy. Yeah. It's an easy walk. So I applaud you for not making me get in the nightmare that is the cabs in Vegas trying to get around during NAB. I can just put my pack on my back and walk over. And,
well, hopefully this will be a permanent home for us, but it's really hard in Vegas because we usually have the Rio, and the Rio this year has this big car show coming in, and we love the Rio. It was a great place, but you had to take a taxi. You had to take
They don't even have the lingerie show this year.
And they don't? Oh, my God.
The car shows, at least that's what we're told.
Well, we're told the car show is going to be on our date. That it was in there, so I don't know when the lingerie show is. That's the bummer because we were always at the same time as the lingerie show at the Rio, and all the guys really like that.
That's okay.
Yeah, it made getting to the SuperMeet a lot more fun.
Exactly. To walk the long corridor of all these lingerie models, and it was really kind of nice. But
so tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Again, Tuesday around 4:30, head over. Get there early. Doors open at 4:30. Have some great laughs, some great socializing.
Yeah.
Food, drinks. The SuperMeet is at the Riviera this year, and $10 until March 10th. SuperMeet.com. That's a double E. And look forward to having a great time. And you may very well, in fact, win something this year.
Yeah, Chuck,
that's great.
You might.
I might.
But you got to buy a raffle ticket.
Don't worry. I have no trouble doing that. And now I've got to come up with something creative that is not illegal to do on stage to get more prizes.
Costumes, they work. Wear something. Wear an Amish thing because you're Pennsylvania. That always works.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. That doesn't quite fit me.
All right.
Dan Berube,
we all got a sense of humor.
Oh, yeah. Well, Dan Berube, Mike Horton, the organizers of the SuperMeet at the National Association of Broadcasters show in Vegas. Thanks for being here. It's always fun, guys. I really, really enjoy these discussions, and we got to find a reason to talk about it when you're not doing the next SuperMeet, which is never, because you're always doing a next SuperMeet.
Yep, always somewhere.
Well, after NAB, we'll be working on the Miami SuperMeet in June.
Yeah, we're testing the waters there and hoping that'll work in June for Miami. And
which will be interesting because that'll be our post-NAB SuperMeet. So whatever gets announced at NAB, we'll be taking it on the road, if you will.
Great. Well, then that means we'll be talking again in a few months.
I hope so.
Definitely. Guys, thanks a lot. We'll see you in Vegas.
All right, thanks, Chuck. It was really a lot of fun.
It always is.
See you later.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. Please go to SuperMeet.com if you are going to be in Vegas, and if you're not going to be, then you should come to the SuperMeet, come to NAB show. It's a whole lot of fun and a whole lot of education. Until the next time, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter app.net, Google+, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, the MacVoices Dispatch, to stay up to date with all the latest MacVoices news from our front page or at macvoices.com/newsletter. Advertising and sponsorships handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com.